We're recording.
Meeting, please come to order. Barbara, please call the roll.
We have Commissioners Levine, McLean, Hill, Noonan, and Vasquez present.
This proceeding is broadcast on Channel 35. The exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35. I have no opening remarks other than noting that we intend to defer item number 6A, accelerating the decarbonization of the power system. I assume that does not need a motion.
No.
We have, at least as of last count, 6 public comment cards. So Barbara, go ahead and call the public comment cards.
Okay, for item number 2, public comment. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes. The first speaker is Tom LaBauche.
Good morning, and thank you here at 111 North Hope Street, because I have hope that you could continue to do the great job that you're doing as it relates to reclaimed water at Griffith Park. I hike every day, have since 1978, with the exception of stormy days in Griffith Park. And the work that you've done has transformed much of the park. And it's so good to see you, and congratulations on the mayor's appointment to you here.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to make a big push in that. And also in your other facilities, I'm trying to write some memoirs. The work you did at Lake Hollywood when the storm took down the west side. The work you've done at Silver Lake, opening the dam, Tesla Avenue, the work that you do. And I often see with great smiles when I'm walking around Silver Lake sometime your workers who pull in and out, doing their job for the city. So I just stopped by because it's Tuesday. And I hadn't been here in a while, so I'm still alive. And I'm on my way to the library working on a talk I'm going to give there the 17th of October and in between. So I thank you for all that you do. 1-800-TOM-LaBonge if you need anything. Have a good day. Just call me.
It's always great to have you here, Tom. You don't have to limit it to Tuesday. You just won't be able to talk to the board.
That's okay. That's all right. But reclaimed water in Griffith Park makes it green. Parks are for people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Katrine Sator, and then after that, Patricia Gayette.
Good morning. My name is Katrin Santori, and I'm a homeowner
If
and
you could
residence in.
move the mic.
Like
closer.
that? Is
Yeah,
that
like
better?
that, right.
Thank you. I'm a resident and homeowner in Pacoima, California, in Hanson Hill, where you guys are proposing the Garber Street Recycled Water Tank project. And this project, DWP purchased a home adjacent to the projected tank site in 2011, and planning for the project has been going on now for 7 years under the noses of the community. We were only received information August of this year, and we have a lot of questions that aren't being answered. Not only is this deceptive, it's illegal, as no protocols were followed to inform, discuss, and approve the water tank project with the community. The community is not opposed to reclaimed and recycled water. We're opposed to the 4-year project disrupting our way of life. It's a small hill with low income and minority and senior residents who are not prepared for a situation like this. We're concerned of the human impact that digging up the street on our hillside is going to take of the air we're going to be breathing for the next 4 years. And we're not understanding why no alternative routes for the water to get to water the golf course have been proposed, and why our neighborhood needs to get torn up, disrupted, and houses taken for the project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Patricia Gayette, and after that, Beverly Millet.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Oh, does anyone have a glass of water? Oh, just kidding. Department of Water. My name is Patricia Gayette, and I'm from Hanson Hills. And I wanted to talk to you in reference to the construction of the Garber Recycle Water Tank and the health risk factors. The health risk exposes people to the possibility of valley fever. It exposes humans to the mold in the soil that breaks off with airborne spores. This fungi causes fever, cough, chest pain, headaches. We'd appreciate a more detailed health study before construction. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Beverly Millet, and after that, Mike Caherly.
Good morning. My name is Beverly Miller, and I'm representing the Hanson Hills homeowners. Currently, I'm an active member of the Neighborhood Watch Committee, and I'm a resident of Hanson Hills for over 38 years. When I purchased my home 38 years ago, I had to sign over my oil rights because I was told that there was oil under the hill. Now the city has purchased one of the homes at 12655 Garber Street, Pacoima, with intentions of tearing down that residence and erecting a 50-foot high, 66-foot wide recyclable water tank on the highest hill in our neighborhood. This is an eyesore, and many will not be able to enjoy the view from the hill that they once enjoyed. Why our hill? Why is it so important to put the tank on our neighborhood? What do you stand to gain? With all the vacant land and the other places at the hill, there is plenty of other hills and plenty of other heights to put that tank. Why endanger the lives of many seniors with dust particles that can transmit dangerous spores causing life-threatening disease? Why bring industrial trucks and construction workers to our peaceful neighborhood? Why wasn't the residents notified in plenty of time to protest this project? Department of Water and Power sent out notices of their intent on August the 15th and gave us until September the 17th, 2018 to send in our comments. This tank will not benefit our neighborhood at all. The recyclable water will go to the Hanson Dam and other parks. Why not put the tank at Hanson Dam? They have a hill that will also provide for this project. And it was first slated that the project would be put at Hanson Dam. Why the change? Is there any underlying reason why the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power want our hill? Is there any other reason for it? Is there oil there? With the high-speed rail also coming through our hill, and with the chances of sinkholes and weakening the hill and causing major destruction during an earthquake, where are our politicians from CD7 who we voted for to protect the interests of the people who trusted us, who we trusted them, and now they're not there to help us? I signed over my oil rights 38 years ago. I refuse to stand idly by and allow the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power to come into my neighborhood and project with their project, to go forward with their project.
Could you wrap up your remarks, please?
Thank
Your
you.
time is up.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Mike Caherly, and after that, Constance Saunders.
Hi, this is also about the Garber Street recycled water project. First of all, I'd like to say that I applaud DWP for increasing the use of recycled water. I think it's common sense for Los Angeles County to increase that resource. It makes sense. However, on this particular project, you're putting in a tank to service the Hanson Dam and the golf course there. Why not just put it there on that same property that it's there to service? It's going to be tearing up a lot of street to transport that water from the proposed location to where it's actually needed. Why not just put it on that site? That's my main point on that. And also, the notice given to the people about this project was not clear for an average homeowner to understand. I mean, the title of it is Notice of Intent to Adopt a Mitigated Negative Declaration for the Garber Street Recycled Water Tank Project. And the wording of the actual notice is very similar. It's not clear what's being said there. So the people who are being affected by the project are not being informed, and as was pointed out earlier, it's on very short notice as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Constance Saunders.
Hi. no surprise, I'm also speaking about the Garber Street recycle tank. And there's a few bullet points that I have on this, and also I have copies of this that are going to each of the board members. And I really appreciate it if you go on to the Pacoima Neighborhood Watch.com website, click on Garber Tank, and look at the studies, look at the various information there, and then start exploring this. Because there's a few things that are seriously wrong with the way this project has gone so far. One, there was no proper notice back in 2011 to any of the residents there. There also wasn't any proper notice to the neighborhood council, and in 2017, they had an intra-city memorandum of understanding between the DWP and the neighborhood council, but no proper notice. They actually arrived at the neighborhood council and didn't even tell them they were coming, and they were given the 5 minutes any speaker could get, and then kind of complained that, well, you didn't give me more time, but they didn't do it properly. And that was only one time, and they did not provide them with any written information on your plans and projects, which is supposed to precede this kind of a notice period where it goes to the actual neighbors and give the whole neighborhood a chance to respond properly to you. Also, the notice intent was misleading, as mentioned before. Also, ED 5, Executive Directive 5, written by Eric Garcetti. In the notice itself, it referenced ED 5. And it said it was according to ED 5 that this hill was selected to build this tank. It's a possibility that in 2013, when ED 5 was in effect, but they bought the house on the hill in 2011. Regardless, the fact that ED 5 was referenced is somewhat false, because in 2015 and again in 17, Daily News and DWP's own website reported this as a completed project, and it was satisfactorily the golf course was satisfactorily being serviced with the 85% recycled water that was required. And many homes got now that the advantage of that added drinking water.
Would you please wrap up your remarks? Your time is up.
Okay. One last thing is just the orange and white checkered box that's heading towards the Pacoima Dam, and the fact that the hill is going to be torn up like that. The particulate in the air does cause valley fever and does cause pneumonia. We've got a lot of adult citizens. I'm very concerned about that. There's many, in my family included, that have to take immunosuppressant drugs that eliminates their ability to deal with things like mold spores and bacteria that could be put in the air from this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the last card for item 2.
Okay, thank you very much. General Manager?
Yeah, two things. I'd like Rich to introduce a guest today, if you would.
Yeah, if I could, before we do that, talk about our Benedict Canyon project. Sure. So we had a Benedict Canyon water pipeline replacement project that finished early. You might have seen it reported in the news yesterday. It was a mile-long project to replace a pipe with a new 12-inch diameter pipe. We finished 2 months early. We did so with much help from Councilmember Koretz's office as well, and other city agencies. It saved about $1.8 million. Time is money, and when you use less time, you spend less money. So I think it's a testament to our own workers' ingenuity and professionalism, and I think it really helps gain confidence from our customers as well when we can say we're going to do a project and then actually finish it early. The second thing is you have, as an informational item, a memorandum of understanding with the Water Replenishment District, and I'm going to ask Rob Whitaker, their general manager, to come forward. I was at their board last week because I signed the MOU on behalf of the department, and it's regard to developing groundwater basins within the West Coast Basin and the Central Basin, of which Rob and his agency manages. And what it's going to do is really formalize our relationship to collaborate on efforts to maximize the use of that basin. We have rights in that basin, and we want to basically expand them. This MOU really builds upon over 20 years of working with the Water Replenishment District. I actually started working with them that long ago to increase our infrastructure in the basin there. But the point is, Water and Power, through the mayor's plan, has a goal to reduce our imported supplies by 50% by 2025, and more importantly, to increase our local supplies to 50% by 2035. And we're going to need some large projects to be able to do that, and we're really looking at those groundwater basins that Rob manages, some projects there to be able to put more water in and to get more water out. So what the MOU does is establishes regular communications with our two agencies, exchange of data, sets forth some future projects and studies that we'll do jointly, and puts us in a position to collaborate with them on updating their groundwater master plan. So in fact, you're going to see a little advanced fruit of our efforts coming up here in October, a significant number of agreements that are going to really position us well to put more groundwater, recycled water, et cetera, into that basin. So I'd like Rob to come up and have the ability to speak to you as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. It truly is a privilege to be here and talk about this effort. I'm very enthused about this MOU and what it means in terms of developing regional local water sustainability, and also for the city of LA in terms of meeting their goals for developing local water supplies. Sorry, I need to move this up. I want to thank Marty Adams and Rich Harasek and their staff for putting this together. There's much we can do, as Rich mentioned, in terms of developing locally sustainable water supplies. And being that I cut my teeth on water here in the Aqueduct Division longer ago than I'm willing to mention, I know what DWP is capable of, and that adds to my enthusiasm for this effort. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and specifically and significantly, and Dave has one of his goals from the mayor to work alongside LA Sanitation to maximize the recycled water use potential of the Hyperion wastewater treatment plant. And the main place where we initially plan to store that water and to be able to use it is in these two basins. So without the help and collaboration with WRD, we won't be able to do that. And we're looking to, bring that supply of water, the local supply, up to that 50% and in a really, really significant way. So just wanted to highlight that. Even though it was an informational item, it was worth mentioning. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Comments from commissioners on agendized items and requests from commissioners relating to departmental operations.
So first of all, I apologize again that I have to leave at noon today. It's unlike me, but I appreciate your patience with that request. That being said, I just got word this morning that our federal government is considering to have the Department of Defense oversee cybersecurity measures, and if that's the case, I would like the department to work very closely with this new direction. Thank you.
Other comments of commissioners? Hearing none. Ratepayer advocate.
We have brief comments on the community solar program and a recommendation on item 19 and some brief comments on item 20. Would you like us to make those now, or?
I think we're going to be dealing with each of those. If it turns out that there is no desire to deal with them, then I'll ask you to make your comment at that point. But my guess is that there will be. Okay, so we have deferred item 6A, and we move to item 6B, shared solar and solar rooftop program.
All right, so I'll ask Eric Montag and Jason Rondow to come up, and they're going to do a presentation for you.
Did you want to do the public speakers first or after?
Oh, yes, we have a slew of public speakers, 14. So let's hear from the public speakers first.
Okay. The first public speaker is Gavin Pierce, and after that is Minister Max Shorty.
Hello, everyone. I just want to start by thanking LADWP for all of the work it's doing to lead on renewable energy and the fight against climate change, not just as the largest municipal utility in the country, but also as one of the few municipal utilities actively working to ensure that the people most vulnerable to climate change also have access to its solutions. And that's also why I'd like to urge LADWP to launch the proposed shared solar pilot program. It's not just ideal, but it's also necessary. I'm sure you all are, incredibly familiar with all of the information surrounding this after, years of developing it. But 50% of people are unable to host solar PV either because they don't own their property, they're renters, or they can't afford it. And only 22 to 27% of residential rooftop space is suitable for solar PV installations to begin with. So ultimately, there's a massive need for off-site shared solar, and it has a lot of potential. It could represent up to 49% of the distributed PV market by 2020, which, according to national labs, could be equivalent to up to $16.3 billion. It can double the growth of the solar market. And ultimately, all of that is needed if we're going to hit our 100% renewable targets in this city to stop climate devastation. And so I'm going to reiterate my support for the shared solar pilot and also say that the launch of this program can serve as a launch for a broader campaign with multiple community-based solutions under its umbrella that utilize grassroots support for various small-scale solar projects that are within the power of everyday citizens to launch. So whether that's community-owned solar gardens or things like side systems, the Dutch government just put out a study recently showing that these new models where consumers also become producers and create self-sustaining neighborhoods can lead to 90% self-sustainment in these areas. So again, just thank you for all that you're doing. You have my support on this shared solar pilot program. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Minister Max Shorty, and after that, Mariana Huerta-Jones.
Always great to be here again. When we look at LA Department of Water and Power, we do great things and we do big things. Today, this program represents a lot for many people that are underserved, that deserve their fair share of what takes place in our city. And it's only right that we pass this unanimously because the time is now. When you look around the country, there's people fighting against programs such as this. And we are the leaders of the United States of America here in California and Los Angeles. And today we take this lead with pride and joy, and we stand all together and we say that we can create change across the country. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Mariana Huerta-Jones, and after that, Allison Manos.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Mariana Huerta-Jones, and I am with the Alliance for Community Transit, a citywide coalition of tenant rights, affordable housing, transit equity, and economic development organizations. We advocate for affordable housing across our region, especially near transit. Displacement from rising rents is a problem many of our members face, and we all need to play a role in economically stabilizing our most vulnerable communities. We're here today to support the Shared Solar Program because we see the opportunities for thoughtful solar and energy efficiency to support these tenants. Utility bills are one part of the challenge facing low-income families who rent here in LA. Shared solar will give our tenants and other low-income tenants the ability to not only participate in green energy, something that they would not be able to afford on their own, but it would also allow to cut down on energy costs in the long run. This is really important since we understand that DWP has made significant investments in advancing solar and other clean energy programs that save participating customers money, but that they mostly benefited affluent homeowners. This program will finally allow low-income tenants to save money from future clean energy investments, and we also appreciate that the program will provide good jobs for our communities. Because the panels would be installed by UPCTs, this will build more skills for the people in the program, helping on their journey to try to get a good job. Please keep in mind all all the good this program will do when you are voting today. Support the Shared Solar Pilot Program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Allison Manos, and after that, Kent Minalt.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much for your time today. We're so excited to be here. 3.5 years later, the Repower LA Coalition has worked so hard to try to build a case for why we need to make solar equitable for low-income people. The question was always how and when, and can we do it sooner? After years of focus groups and ratepayer convenings that many of you were at last year, we're just so proud to be at this point. Want to thank the commissioners for your support this morning at the press conference and of this program, of Jason Rondeau and his team. It's very exciting that we're going to be able to adopt a cutting-edge program that centers equity and good jobs at its core. Clean energy does not need to mean that it's inaccessible to those without means. And I think it's just presenting a whole new way of doing business here at DWP that will inspire other utilities. If we receive the grants for this program, it's just going to be so meaningful that we can offer low-income rates as well as energy efficiency to those most marginalized. This is a fulfillment of equity metrics, as former Commissioner Funderburk had clearly articulated a vision for a different DWP that really services all ratepayers. So I just want to congratulate everyone on the work so far and urge you to pass this today. It's one step in many that hopefully we'll take together. Thank you, Commissioners.
The next speaker is Kent Minalt.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners. I'm Kent Minot. I volunteer with the Sierra Club, and I sit on the Watts Clean Air and Energy Committee. And yes, let's get this shared solar passed. We in the Watts Clean Air and Energy Committee conduct our meetings under a solar array that Commissioner Vasquez helped us pull the switch on at our electric car event, along with former Commissioner Funderburk. And the model that we used was initially developed by a DWP engineer, Yamanane, and we secured ownership of the solar array for the church through a grant from the Sierra Club and from Grid Alternatives. And Grid has also popped up a number of other solar arrays around Watts. And we're looking to work with LADWP in the future, after this pilot program is established, to work out ways in which community ownership of the solar resource can be included in future iterations of the shared solar program. This is an historic day, and let's get this thing passed. It's just wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Laura Moredia, and after that, Margarita Pineda.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Laura Muraida, and I'm the Research and Communications Director with SCOPE, or Strategic Concepts in Organizing and Policy Education. And we are a partner of Repower LA and an ally and partner of IBEW Local 18. And SCOPE is a South Los Angeles-based community organization that is committed to advancing economic and environmental justice and building the political power of low-income communities of color that are often shut out of decision-making processes. We are here today in support of the Shared Solar Pilot Program, and our members, who are largely Black, Latino, and immigrant, mostly low-income and working-class renters and South Los Angeles residents, have talked a lot over the years about what is needed and what we'd like to see in a solar program and from programs from our utility. We are actually very happy to see that most of what was brought up in these conversations has been integrated into this pilot program. And I feel that LADWP has the opportunity to lead on creating solutions that advance both environmental and economic justice for communities that are on the front lines of pollution and poverty. Excuse me. We feel that this is an opportunity to build an inclusive and accessible shared solar program that increases climate equity and resilience across LA, while also supporting the training of a diverse and unionized clean energy workforce. These are the types of solutions that we need in communities like South Los Angeles, and so We urge the board to support this pilot program today and in the future. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Margarita Pineda, and after that, Jacqueline Badea.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Margarita Pineda.
Good morning. My name is Margarita Pineda.
Vine de Wilmington
I came from Wilmington
para pedirles que voten hoy por el programa Solar Compartidos.
to ask you to vote today for the Shared Solar Program.
Apoyo este programa porque nos dará la oportunidad a los renteros de ayudar a mejorar el medio ambiente y a la vez ahorrar en nuestras facturas.
I support this program because it will give the opportunity to us renters to help relieve the environment at the same time to save in our energy consumption and bill.
En Wilmington necesitamos este programa cuanto antes para poder
In Wilmington, we need this program as soon as possible
aliviar un poco la contaminación
in order to relieve a little bit the pollution
de las refinadoras
from
y de
refineries
extracción de petróleo
and
que
the
tenemos
petroleum extraction
tan cerca de nuestros
that we
hogares.
have so close to our homes.
Si este programa hubiera estado vigente
If
ya,
this program had been already in place,
tal vez me hubiera ayudado con mi factura actual,
maybe it would have helped me with my current bill,
que por haber encendido el aire acondicionado
that because I turned on the air conditioner
para aliviar a mis hijos del calor tan intenso de este verano,
to try to relieve my children from the very intense heat of this past summer,
me salió de más de $1,000.
the bill now I have to pay is about over $1,000,
que es demasiado para mí,
and that is too high for me to pay.
una mujer sola de bajos recursos,
I am a single mother and low income
con hijos pequeños.
with small children.
Yo seré de las primeras en aplicar
I would be the first one to apply for the program,
por el programa, igual que mis compañeras que vinieron conmigo,
the same as my friends who also came from Wilmington,
apoyar.
to support.
Por favor, voten hoy
Please vote
para
today
que empecemos a ver los beneficios de
in order
ahorro
for us to start seeing the benefits of savings
y de energía
and clean
limpia.
energy.
Gracias.
Commissioner?
Sí, señora Piñeda, mil gracias por hablar hoy. Te entendimos y vamos a soportar tu vida y tus obstáculos y estamos aquí para defenderte en tu vida. ¿Eh? Ok, mil gracias por hablar. Yo sé que era un esfuerzo muy, muy grande de tu parte.
Se me olvidó decir algo.
Está bien.
De alguna forma que me transfieran a un lugar para ver si me ayudan.
Por favor, dale a este señor y él lo pasa a nosotros. Pero solo quería saludarte y agradecerle por hablar hoy. ¿Estás de acuerdo con mi diciendo?
Sí,
Vázquez.
okay,
sí.
No voy a tener ningún comentario porque me voy a tomar toda la mañana hablando. Pero quiero darle las gracias por haber venido, por estar aquí, porque yo especialmente entiendo lo que significa un programa así para personas como nosotros, no únicamente usted, porque usted representa una comunidad que son muchísimas otras personas y no únicamente su historia, no es la única historia, es la historia de muchos de nosotros. Y me encanta que haya venido aquí y haya presentado su opinión y nos haya dejado escuchar a nosotros que esto es importante para usted, porque como gente como usted, luchadora, que son líderes en su comunidad, a ustedes son los que tenemos que escuchar aquí en las juntas cuando tenemos estas decisiones importantes que hacemos. Muchas gracias.
Estoy de acuerdo.
Okay, our next speaker is Jacqueline Badea, and after that, Christian Guzman.
Good morning, commissioners. I feel like I just missed out on something great.
But it's all good.
I can translate later.
Jacqueline Badejo, Watts Neighborhood Council. I just want to say thank you because I feel confident that you guys will pass this unanimously and you will make equity metric history today. We have been very active in the Watts community, and this is exactly what we need the community solar program to move forward so we can do our thing, our outreach. This will help us communicate things better to the community. We actually will have something of substance to move forward and build their confidence in this new industry that will allow a lot of our residents to have work. We have a lot of development going on, and this is a way that with our partners like Lane, PSA, RLA, DWP, because you guys are awesome and have provided the solar lights for us in our cultural pressing area. This will allow us to move forward and actually save lives because of the bigger picture of climate control. I just thank you so much because one thing for sure is that with your support with the yes vote, people will actually be able to be proud of saying that they are into utilities. We can open and expand their minds in different ways that will allow us all to see the bigger picture. And wow, it's going down in Watts. I would like to even invite you guys down. We have a lot of good things going on. We're actually having job fairs directly relative to solar. We'll be having those coming up because we feel it's very important. And more than anything, I just want to let you guys know is that yes, this will help parents pay their bills, but the children are looking at this. You're raising another generation into what is the future. So I just thank you so much for your yes vote.
The next speaker is Christian Guzman, and after that, Jorge Madrid.
Hi, my name is Christian Guzman. I'm a member of Communities for a Better Environment, and I'm also on the Wilmington Neighborhood Council. My council hasn't taken a formal position on this, but personally I'd like to give my support to you, and hopefully you vote for the draft resolution that I read and some paperwork on the shared solar pilot program. I live in a large apartment complex, and I like to try to live by example, so I carpooled here. Usually I take the bus to work or ride my bicycle. Currently, though, it's hard for me to participate in like solar because I don't own the property. So I think this would be a good way for me to increase my being able to say that I'm doing my best to try to lower my carbon footprint. So also, the climate is rapidly changing. Our species diversity is declining, and we really need to move to renewables in order to help mitigate that, especially in Southern California where we are in a biodiversity hotspot. So I really want to protect the species that live here. And then finally, the air conditioning problem, it's kind of like a vicious circle until we get onto renewables. If we use air conditioning, it creates more emissions, and then it ends up warming the planet more, and then we have to use more air conditioning. So I'm hoping that with the renewables, that'll really help end that vicious cycle. So thank you, and I hope that you will vote to implement this shared pilot program.
Okay, the next speaker is Jorge Madrid, and after that, Lupe Garcia.
Good morning, everyone. Jorge Madrid, California Clean Energy Manager at the Environmental Defense Fund, also a ratepayer in Boyle Heights. I have three things to say. One is about access. This is opening up a market, an entire new market for the utility that has been previously locked out. We know that many of the customers locked out of the solar market are low-income communities of color who experience the worst impacts of climate change and pollution. Secondly, this is a public good for all ratepayers, even those not involved in the program. This is going to help prevent power outages, help strengthen our grid, help us meet our very ambitious goals to have local solar here. This is going to help usher in a new wave of electric vehicles, new technologies. And it's also going to help keep customers happy and keep customers here and make us more competitive as a utility. And lastly, this is about leadership. This is about Los Angeles, yet again, taking leadership and providing solar access with equity, with good jobs, with many co-benefits to the program, to all of us, and I'm very excited for an upvote here, and I'm very proud of being part of the coalition that's been working on this with the staff for many years. We have a long way to go. This is just the first step, and I'm committing myself and my organization and all of my strength and energy to continue to make this program better and to make it grow. Thank you very much.
Okay, the next speaker is Lupe Garcia, and after that, Linda Cleveland.
Hello, I am Lupe Garcia, a current graduate of Venice Youth Builds, and I'm here today with my classmates in support of Shared Solar Program. I believe that making more resources like the Shared Solar Program available in low-income communities are much needed. And living in Los Angeles all my life, I've gotten to know how expensive utility bills are, and I'm very grateful there is now solutions for helping all ratepayers and making our city greener. By simply educating homeowners on how to maximize their savings with simple energy efficiency changes that can be provided through these great resources like the Home Improvements Program and like the Shared Solar Program. Because with more resources like these offered in Los Angeles, together I believe we can help repower LA to be a more conservative and efficient city. I would be proud, and I'm sure my classmates would be proud, to help build a shared solar project on a city building in my community and help my neighbors learn about solar and job opportunities like the UPCT program. And I'm also here to thank everybody who is already doing their part to help us be a more greener city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair. The next speaker is Linda Cleveland, and after that, Michelle Hassan.
My mic is off.
Good morning.
Now.
Everyone has
Can
come.
I address the youth? I don't know what happened to my mic.
You certainly may.
Strangely.
I just want to say to the Youth Build, thank you for coming. As someone that also started my career organizing as a youth, it's very exciting to see you all here, and in a world where young people are bombarded with social media and likes and a whole other new world. I want to thank you for being here, because you could have been anywhere and you chose to be here representing yourselves, representing your community, and you're the future. So thank you so much for being here. I'm beyond proud to see you here, guys. Thank you.
Except after that, after that, and given our next speaker, I want to put in a plug for the people with the white hair too. So thank you. It takes everybody holding hands. So thank you.
Good morning. My name is Linda Cleveland. I'm from the Watts Clean Air and Energy Committee, and I'm here to represent my community. There are benefits that are given to various neighborhoods, and oftentimes our neighborhoods are overlooked. And so we deserve to have the benefits also. And so we're here, we're standing behind you because DWP has been helping us to educate all of our residents, and we would like to be able to help them save money. You know, there are parents who are out working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, trying to make ends meet. So maybe if we're able to participate in this program, maybe they only have to work 1.5 jobs. But it is something that we need, and we appreciate the fact that you are pushing to pass this today. We know you're going to pass it, so we're claiming it, so it will be. Thank you.
The next speaker is Michelle Hassan.
Hi everyone, Michelle Hassan with the Natural Resources Defense Council. Thank you, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to speak about such an exciting program and such an exciting time in California. We have just seen landmark legislation pass up in Sacramento with the ushering of SB 100 and the governor's executive order on decarbonization. And here we are, walking the walk in Los Angeles, leading for the rest of California with this community shared program. It's no joke, everybody's been talking about it. Housing insecurity and energy insecurity go hand in hand. Not only does Los Angeles lead in energy efficiency, shared solar, and decarbonization programs, but we also lead in how much our residents are paying. 4.6% of Los Angelenos are paying more than half their income. in rent, and then they're paying higher rates than average than the rest of the state for our energy. This program couldn't come at a better time. 72,000 Californians are getting their lights turned off every month, and with programs like this and increased energy efficiency, we can really ensure that not only are we leading our state in new pathways to really implement energy efficiency, renewable energy, and make it accessible to all. So I really thank you all for being able to be here, beaconing a new program that will actually provide benefits to those Angelinos that need it the most when we're facing our largest crises, energy and housing. And this really does something to keep people in their homes and make sure that their bills will be a little bit more affordable, and that we can keep leading with everybody supporting. So thank you for creating a program that's inclusive and will show the way for the rest of California. Thank you.
That was the last card I have for that item. That closes the public hearing.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, we now move to the presentation.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Commissioners, and welcome aboard, Commissioner. My name is Eric Montag. I'm the Senior Manager for Strategic Initiatives and Resource Development. Next to me is Mr. Jason Rondo. He's the Manager of Resource Development and Planning Programs. Back in April 24th, we briefed the board on our plans to launch the Shared Solar Program pilot, and shortly thereafter, we started our heavy lifting of it. Today, we're here to seek board approval of two items. One is the Shared Solar Program pilot, and the other is modifications to our current solar rooftop program pilot. After hearing all these public comments, I got to tell you, it's a very exciting time to be up here. Sometimes I'm up here on not so exciting times, and this was really re-energizing, to tell you the honest truth. We're excited about this program just for the simple reason that we have a lot of successes on major renewable projects, but initiatives that work with the public and partner with the public and our customers, and that's very energizing and refreshing to us. We get a lot of gratification with that. So lastly, before I turn it over to Mr. Rondo, I'd like to acknowledge there were a lot of people to make this happen, but I would like to acknowledge three people of our team. Mr. Michael Buck, he's the supervisor of the Community Solar Program and his team. And I say and his team very lightly because it's really good people there. Mr. George Chen, who's our rate manager, and his team. And Ms. Flora Chang, our CIO of Customer Billing and Systems. They really, truly did a lot of the internal heavy lifting to get it to this point. So thank you to those three and all their teams. With that, I turn it over to Mr. Rondo.
All right, good morning, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present to you on this subject. Before we get into the shared solar, I just want to kind of recap some of the successes that we've had on renewables and solar in particular. We have a pretty strong portfolio of solar programs geared towards customers, from our solar incentive program that has been around for a number of years to our feed-in tariff program that caters mostly to commercial and industrial customers. And that's really brought us to a point where we were recognized as the #1 city in the country for adopted solar, which we're very, very proud of. But what we found over the last several years is that there's a very large gap and a very large disparity in participation on solar programs. And so on the map that you see on the left-hand side is a representation of solar adoption throughout the city of LA. The bluish, the most blue area is areas where there is the least solar penetration. And the lighter green and the yellow areas is where there's the most solar penetration. And to help you identify a little bit of a pattern, we also have the map on the right-hand side, which is the state of California's CalEnviro screen, which identifies disadvantaged communities throughout the city. And so you can see a little bit of a pattern between that, and not really a little bit of a pattern, quite a significant pattern between that and solar adoption. And so this shared solar program is really aiming to help address that by allowing customers that don't have the ability to provide, to participate in solar, whether it's because they don't have a roof, because they're multifamily, or because there are other obstacles to adopting solar. And so what we're proposing to do is install solar throughout the city of Los Angeles and large-scale solar and allow customers to subscribe to blocks of that energy that's produced. The goal with this is to allow a fixed rate of energy for the duration of 10 years so that there's predictability and there's the ability to participate in solar and help the department and the city continue to achieve renewable goals and local solar goals as well. So some of the guiding principles, some of the goals that we have associated with this, of course, are equity. And I talked a little bit about that and showed you those maps. Sustainability is another important one as well. With many solar programs, local solar programs, LADWP in the city does not retain the renewable energy credit. What we've done is we've helped design this program in a way that allows us to do that. So every kilowatt and megawatt of solar that's installed actually counts towards LADWP's renewable portfolio standard. And then finally, engaging our community. And so while we do want to install a significant amount of solar, a lot of that solar we'd like to have locally in basin in the city of Los Angeles so that folks can actually see that and also actually participate in that. So there's a mention of our utility pre-craft trainee program where folks in that program would actually participate in actually building these installations. And so how would that look? So that energy would be delivered to our grid. And then customers residing in multifamily dwellings would be able to subscribe to either 50 or 100 kilowatt hour blocks of energy. And so on the right-hand side, their normal bill would typically be all LADWP generic energy. But what it would look like after participation is the blue area represents a fixed amount of energy that's fixed for 10 years. So there's some bill certainty for that customer. What we're proposing to do is launch in January at a rate of about 17.5 cents per kilowatt hour. The current rate right now is roughly 16.5 cents. And so what that means is customers would pay a little bit extra for the first couple of years. And then as rates rise, they would be fixed for that 10-year duration, which would provide a hedge against the rising energy cost. And so how was that designed? We took into consideration transmission, distribution, and other factors to help design a rate that was actually sustainable, that could actually grow if the program pilot proves to be successful, so that there isn't a cross-subsidy in the program. And if there are any questions on, detailed questions on that rate design, we have our financial services organization folks that would be able to come up and answer questions on that. And the last point here is that we would recalculate this annually. So rates will change and they will rise, and so the 17.5 cents per kilowatt hour would actually track that, so that if somebody decides to subscribe 2 years from now, there wouldn't be sort of an arbitrage opportunity for them. A very, very important point here, I mentioned earlier about the existing successful solar programs that we had. Those are eligible, those are open to customers who own single-family homes and commercial customers. So those programs exist today and they continue to exist. And so what we're proposing now is to have multifamily only eligibility for this program. The other programs continue to exist, so there continues to be an opportunity for solar for customers in single-family homes and commercial customers as well. And those rates are listed here as well. Very, very importantly is our marketing and outreach. What we've learned as part of another solar program, which I'll talk about in just a moment, is that marketing and outreach is extremely important. And so what we've done is we've built a draft marketing plan that identifies the appropriate channels to market to the customers that we're trying to reach. What we've also done is partnered with community-based organizations to help inform us and inform our marketing plan to actually make sure that we're marketing in a way that matches the customers that we're trying to reach with this program. Following the proposal today, what we aim to do is take this program to the next level, which is create a multifamily, low-income or disadvantaged community carved out of the program. To do that, we need to try to receive either state or federal funds. And what that would do is allow us, I told you a moment ago, the rate of energy was 17.5 cents. That would allow us to buy that price down and actually create a savings potentially from day one for customers in low-income rates or in disadvantaged communities. And so what an approval would mean for us today is it would really strengthen our ability to successfully apply for those opportunities. And finally, just to recap, so we're proposing today for 10 megawatts of solar to be installed, and that would allow us to enroll approximately 13,000 customers through this pilot. It would give a 10-year enrollment window. We don't anticipate it taking a full 10 years to subscribe 13,000 customers, and the enrollment period would be for, again, 10 years. So that's the first part of our presentation for the shared solar program. This is a new proposal. Following this, we would jump into the solar rooftops program, which is modifications to an existing pilot. So unless there's any questions on the shared solar, I'll jump right into the solar rooftops program. Okay. All right. So
actually, I do have some questions on the shared
Sure.
solar program. Could you please, you indicated the actual enrollment target for the pilots. It's, to say relatively small would be a tremendous understatement given the size of the population. And first, do you know, for instance, how many eligible units there might be for this program?
I don't have the number on eligible units, but just a rough order of magnitude, half of the city approximately would potentially be eligible for this multifamily. And this is a small portion of it, and it is a pilot. But the very, very important thing here is that if it is successful, if there's a significant amount of demand, I mentioned earlier the rate is designed in a way to be sustainable, right? And so this is potentially scalable. It would just entail building additional solar and securing additional large-scale solar. So it is scalable if the program proves to be administratively, easy to do, which we expect it will be. If it proves to be popular, there will be an opportunity for us to consider expanding the program.
Okay, thank you. Also, just another thing, could you go back to your map showing the current penetration of solar?
Absolutely.
And what I see is sort of a significant, as it's intended to demonstrate a significant penetration in, sort of the northwest part of the city. Certainly a lot less as you get sort of south. Can you tell me if there are any particular advantages, disadvantages to having a more balanced solar grid as opposed to that kind of concentration that you're showing?
Yeah, I think to put it lightly, it's not ideal to have a pretty stark difference between solar penetration in certain areas. Even distribution tends to be better. Now, there is some nuance to that. Certain electrical feeders might have the ability to host a little bit more solar, but in general, spreading that solar energy out is going to be a little bit more ideal from an electrical standpoint. So that there is a benefit to encouraging solar in areas where there is not a relatively higher solar penetration today.
And then just one final question. We did receive some input from the ratepayer advocate regarding concerns related to the way in which rates are calculated, and also, I think more importantly, related to what he identified as concerns about spreading cost associated with this program. Do you have any response to that?
Yeah, and so what I'll do is say that, again, we designed this in a way to be cost neutral to other ratepayers who do not participate. And we brought in our financial services organization, and they had the design validated by a third party. And so maybe it would be an opportunity to have FSO say a couple words to that point.
Right now, this is our pilot program. We have designed the rate so there is no cross-subsidization. There are some inputs, though, based on the type of solar that we're building and, what type of inflation and other costs we see in the future. But we do see solar panels, the price of them going down instead of up. So you have some inflation, but you do have some costs that are being more cost effective. So we're going to learn from this pilot, and from there we can go back and revalidate our rates. But we did ask Navigant to help us with this, and they have expertise helping others with share solar activities.
And I assume the combination of our experience with respect to the decline in actually producing the power and the flexibility to reset rates for new entrants each year is one of the mechanisms that gives you confidence that we're looking at a program that's actually cost neutral.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so barring any additional questions on shared solar, I'll move on to the solar rooftop program improvements. So to recap where we're at with this program, this was approved back in late 2016 and it launched in 2017. And the goal was to provide an opportunity for single-family homes to install solar on the rooftops where they otherwise would not be able to, whether it was due to insufficient capital or insufficient credit score or other barriers for purchasing solar themselves or leasing solar themselves. And so what LADWP does in this program is we actually will go and install solar on customer rooftops and provide those customers annual payments for hosting solar on those customer rooftops. And again, with this program, it was designed in a way for us to actually retain the renewable energy credit and create an opportunity for customers to participate in solar programs and benefit from solar. But what we had found is that over the course of the year of the program in operation, there are a number of things that we did in the program design with the intent to make it a streamlined, simple program. But what the impact was is we unfortunately eliminated eligibility for a number of customers that would otherwise be fantastic candidates. And so just to recap the number of customers we have in the process today, we have 42 customers in various stages of the program. The unfortunate situation is that well over 200 customers are perfectly eligible. Their rooftop works is in fantastic condition. Electric panel is very, very good. But again, they don't meet our strict criteria. And to help illustrate that point, and this is an example of installations that we've done as part of this program. To illustrate that point, on the left-hand side, you can see where those installations are. Some are in the bluish area, and those are the areas with the lowest solar penetration. Some are in the green area, which is the sort of moderate solar penetration. And there are some in the yellow area, which is the higher solar penetration. And I'd like to, before I get into the details of this, remind everybody, one of the features of this program is that folks in the lowest solar penetration have priority enrollment in this. And so if there is a backlog of participation, the folks in the blue area would have the priority installation. And so back to the eligibility issue. On the right-hand side, there's a bunch of additional gray dots overlaid onto this. And again, this is data from February. If updated, you would see a couple hundred additional gray dots that would be fantastic candidates for the program, but again, are not eligible. And I'll give you an example of what that might be. What we found out is doing the safety, we call it fall protection for roof installations on single-family homes, turns out to be exactly the same as a two-story home. But we had eliminated two-story homes, anticipating that those would be a little bit more difficult to do. And so what we're proposing today is to remove that barrier, among others. There's other lessons learned that we identified as well. An example of that is we anticipated permitting to be very, very simple. The City of LA, Department of Building and Safety, has a fantastic process to install solar. You can get a permit in a matter of seconds. You can literally do it in probably a minute and a half. We anticipated being eligible for that. We weren't. It means the permit process was significantly more challenging for us relative to any other solar installer. So we had to spend a number of months working with the Department of Building and Safety resolving that issue so that we can actually permit and install solar quite a bit faster and on par with the industry as well. So that's another example of a lesson learned to date. So again, we're generally proposing to broaden the eligibility here. One last area that is of importance here is the proposal for us to go back and look at the feasibility of pairing storage as well with this program. And so while an approval today doesn't mean we would initiate that, we would look at the cost feasibility and other characteristics of what that program would look like. And if we felt it was feasible and cost effective, we'd come back and present to the board what that plan would be. And so that would be something that would be forthcoming at a future date pending a feasibility analysis. And the final item here is flexibility on the lease payments. I'd mentioned that we would provide customers $360 a year for hosting solar on the rooftops for a specific size. But what we found is some rooftops are a little bit smaller, some are a little bit larger, and so what we're proposing is a little bit more flexibility to be dynamic with that lease payment. And so with that, I think that is it. So if there are any questions on this program, we'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. It is a very exciting program. and the presentation is very, very helpful. Questions?
Yeah, thank you. Commissioner. Mr. Rondu, could you, so I see in the numbers here so far for the solar rooftop, and I think every board meeting that I participate, I always ask about this program. And we have so far 42 rooftops in our portfolio. What's our targeted goal after making these revisions?
Yeah, so our target goal remains the same. So we're still proposing to do a total of 1 megawatt. I don't, I apologize, I don't recall the exact number of homes that would result in. The change that we're proposing today might mean that we have some additional participants if we have a lot of customers that are proposing smaller systems, or it might mean we have slightly less. But the overall scope, meaning the 1 megawatt of total rooftops, and the budget for the program, we are proposing to remain the same.
Okay, and with the proposed revisions, how are you anticipating the success of this program? And let me just be forthcoming. In the past, we have allocated funding for this program, and we have not met nearly the expectations.
Right.
And I'm making this comment because I want to see this program succeed. And I'm very pleased to see that all of these elements that you have identified are changing, because for a lot of us that have worked with community members and different organizations, we have seen that this was the issue a long time ago. We knew that having people that didn't have the right infrastructure, the roofs that didn't have the right credit score, didn't have the down payment, like all these things would not allow a medium income or a low income person that own a home to enjoy a program like this. So how are you anticipating that this time this is really going to work?
Yeah. So the quick win for us is we, as I mentioned, have 200 applicants, and these are customers that want to participate today and that we've told are ineligible under the current parameters. So that's the quick win. The longer term challenge that we're going to have is, and let me flip back to the map here. The longer term levers that we have is we've marketed to the blue group, which is our lowest solar penetration, using all of the channels. So we've marketed to every customer that would be eligible in that group. Have we done it effectively? We don't know, so we need to go back and look at it. In the second tier, that's the green area, we've marketed to a certain number, I think maybe half. I don't know the exact number. So we have the opportunity to increase marketing in that area to try to find additional customers. And then in the yellow area, which is the area of most solar penetration, we might be able to do a little bit of targeted marketing. For example, we might be able to look at a list of all customers that are in single-family homes that are on low-income rates, and then target market to those customers. Because again, we're not necessarily trying to get customers that could otherwise participate in other solar programs. So the short-term win is hopefully we've got a couple hundred customers that are still interested, so we'll have to go reach out to them. And longer term, we need to relook at our marketing plan, and we probably need to bring in community-based organizations to help review that with us.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions? Dr. Pickle?
It might simplify discussion if I made my comments now rather than waiting for 19 and 20. First, one question for the DWP team. Are you still calling the solar rooftop program a pilot program? Are you still tuning it up?
Absolutely, and I think that's part of it. So I don't know if I made this clear, but the modifications that we're proposing today gives us some flexibility to continue to tune right now. Ideally, what we would have done is more correctly anticipated demand for this. And if we had done that, we obviously would have more folks in the process, but we would have had the ability to kind of make tweaks on the fly. But the reality is that the pool of eligible customers that we're working with right now really doesn't give us the opportunity to fully assess the program and its long-term viability.
We support pilot programs. While our initial recommendations on the solar rooftop program made 2 years ago were neutral on the pilot program, I think you've shown the benefits of calling it a pilot and using the pilot to learn. We think you should be thanked for making the modifications and coming forward to do them. On the shared solar program, we support the shared solar program, provided that a modification is made to the board resolution to put a dollar cap on the amount. The board letter quotes $79 million over 20 years, and we think a board resolution change that puts that cap as part of the resolution would be appropriate, given the long time period. We also have recommendations regarding years subsequent to year one, and we've included those in the memo. I think the biggest single issue is right now what we're doing is we're offering a unhedged fixed price. It's 17.4 cents, but 10.4 of that 17.4 cents are costs unrelated to generation. And since electricity as a commodity is the most volatile commodity of all traded commodities, forecasting electricity prices over the long term is a very risky errand. So we request the DWP come back for the second year with attempts to find hedges for these prices in the second round, so that the risks are not borne by all ratepayers, but the risks are encapsulated within the program. Having spent 4 decades in the electric and gas business, many have suffered from unhedged risks. So I think it's important to find a way to address that, but I think that's an important aspect of this program. On the switching to the solar rooftop program, thank you for coming and reporting back on that. In our 2016 report, one thing we asked for was, even if it's painful to present, we wanted some presentation on costs. Costs in pilot programs are often very high because they're very small scale. But I think the board is importantly informed by understanding the costs of the rooftop program. And perhaps putting this program all into certain functional job numbers, identifying those job numbers, and bringing them to the board would help. And then finally, social equity and economic equity are often cited as important components of these programs, but we think community solar programs are a impossible task. We think addressing social equity should first be done by updating the low-income and lifeline rate discounts. They haven't been updated in 10 years. Risks associated with Props 218 and 26 are frequently cited as reasons why not, but SMUD on the power side and San Diego on the water side have both explored ways of indexing for inflation the discounts offered for low-income and lifeline programs.
Thank you. Was that notice for you to discard your Clark Kent disguise?
No, but I'm going to stay a safe distance from my phone.
I'm wondering what you guys feel about his recommendations. Is anybody considering changing the motion to include those recommendations, or?
We do have a draft motion, or sorry, a draft resolution that would be updated to incorporate them, and I think that we don't have an issue with incorporating that recommendation. We think that would be fine. I would defer to somebody else to tell us how we actually functionally do that.
We functionally do that by adopting the amended resolution that's the board secretary has.
Well, I assume that we don't have a physical copy of those amendments.
You do not.
Yeah.
One was prepared in anticipation if, as an alternative, if the recommendation were made and accepted. So we do have one as an alternative that would adopt the recommendation referenced by that.
Well, if there's no objection and if staff supports it, I would recommend adopting the ratepayer advocates' recommendations as amendments to the current draft motions.
So there were several. So could you just outline all of the recommendations that would be adopted?
Yes,
And the other recommendations really have to evolve over the next year.
Okay, so the one recommendation that
doing a hedge on this rate
Right.
is not an easy hedge.
Right.
And with regard to the low income and lifeline rates, it'd be wonderful if we could do those in the next year.
No, I understand. So perhaps I'm incorrect about this. I just wondered if, as a part of the motion, we could instruct staff to come back with recommendations to explore the potential of a hedge and
Yep.
to come back with a recommendation in that regard.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, good. So when we vote on the resolutions, those recommendations will have been included. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just have one other question. Wasn't there, and I just can't find the letter, wasn't there also a comment with respect to bringing changes to the program back to the board as opposed to them being made within the context of the general manager's authority?
Yes.
And
that's on my memo on page 3, item 4.
could that be added as well?
Is there objection to adding that?
No objection.
Okay, good. Hearing none. It's added. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, monthly reports, item 8A, CAO. Who's presenting the CAO report? Chief Administrative Officer report for August.
That's included in your presentation. We can respond to questions.
Are there any
Sir,
questions?
in your
Hearing none.
packet.
Financial Services report for July.
It's the June 2018 report, and it's filed if there's any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none. Memorandum of Understanding concerning development of groundwater resources in the Central and West Coast Basins, informational item.
That was a presentation that we gave with Rob Whitaker, yeah.
Earlier, okay. Barbara, discussion with neighborhood council representatives on any neighborhood council resolution or community impact statement filed with the city clerk, which relate to any agenda item listed or being considered on this agenda for the Water and Power Board.
No community impact statements or formal positions were filed by any neighborhood councils on the items on today's agenda.
Approval of minutes from the special board meeting of September 5th. Commissioners Levine, McLean, Hale, Noonan, and Vasquez present. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Do I move?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
They're approved. Okay, we have items 11 through 26. We've got a few recusals, and because Commissioner Noonan needs to leave early, and we'll lose our quorum if two people are gone at any time, I'm inclined to quickly run through the items that require recusals before the rest of the agenda. But before getting to those, are there items between item number 11 and 23 which commissioners would like to remove from the consent calendar?
And 24 as well?
No, I'm only going through 11 through 23. Yes, I'm sorry, 11 through 24.
I don't have anything to take off the motion to approve these items. However, I would like to recognize Anne, and for the public at large, I had many questions relating to items 15, 16, and 17 regarding DWP's insurance matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that Anne has done a wonderful job of giving me backup material. And I suggest that if anyone would like additional information, that these materials be made available to the public.
Excellent. So is there a motion to approve items 11 through 24?
So moved.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
They are approved. That includes 19 and 20.
As amended.
As amended. Okay, so then the recusals should not present a problem, given the expedited process on these items. Commissioner Noonan needs to recuse on item, just remove item 24 from the vote. It was 11 and 23, because Commissioner Noonan needs to recuse on 24. That's why it said 23. So Commissioner, would you scram for a minute? And
Okay, that one we didn't know about. So
is there a motion to approve item 24?
So moved.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
There, it's approved. I need to recuse on item, well, let's see, Commissioner Vasquez needs to recuse on item 26. Is there a motion to approve item 26?
So moved.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
I need to recuse on item 25, which will be the last item, and then we'll ask council to say his magic words. Madam Vice President, would you do your magic on item 25 while I walk out
Absolutely.
of the room?
Do we have a motion to approve item 25?
So moved.
A second.
It's been moved in second. Any objection? Without objection, it's approved.
Yeah, at this point, we will recess into closed session and in accordance with California